Hello, welcome.
All right, Aspen, it's recording.
Hey everybody, we are so glad that you guys are here and excited to see numbers growing, because that means you're sharing, and that also means that we're sharing some great information. So that's fun and exciting. It's always good to know that we're talking about things that you guys want to talk about. So I am passing today to Eileen to do our panelists and introduce them, and want you guys to know that we are excited about this summer and hope that you are too. Today we're going to talk about managing our time, which I think everybody struggles with, right? No matter if you've been doing this for 15 years or 5 minutes, it's always going to be a struggle. So learning ways that can make us better at that is one of the very best things we can do. So Eileen, over to you.
Thank you, Aspen. So we have 5 different superstar directors who decided or were willing to share with us. We're so excited to have them on. They all have different perspectives on this, and we felt like it was important that we have more panelists so that hopefully something that they say is going to help you guys go, yes, that's going to help me manage my business, manage my time during these crazy summer months, right? Because even though the kids have been home, well, now we have maybe some other things happening like vacations and things like that. So the first panelist I wanted to bring on was Shelly Sharp, and she is already unmuted. And so Shelly, tell me what your work week looks like.
Gosh, Eileen, I'm very excited about today's talk. First of all, I'm very passionate about making sure that we fit it all in. I love having fun and I love working hard. So this is a very important topic to me. And how do I work my business every week? Well, my work week starts on Monday, and I make my entire day clear and ready to work my Scentsy business. And that just sets the tone for my family, for my business, for the work week. And this might not be typical for other people, but this is how I work my week. Mondays, I am in my office all day. It's when I know that I can take phone calls, make phone calls, get on Zooms, schedule things. I even schedule things for my house that day because I know I will be home to open the door or let someone in or, get a delivery, etc. And then Tuesday, I'm available for my team. That's the day I like to have calls with my team and I focus on them. Then Wednesday through Friday look different. Every Wednesday, every Thursday and Friday might be different. Customer focus, Facebook parties, Zoom meetups with my group, deliveries. And we all know that over the last 12 weeks looks different than what our next 4 weeks look like. So there's going to be some adjustment, but those are the days that I allow flexibility. I fit time in for my family, my kids. We plan activities, whether that's in the home or trying to go do something. So at the end of my week on Friday, I try to plan for the following week. So I will sit down with my planner and I will plan out what the following week looks like. I can review my week Monday through Friday. What did I get done? What still needs to get done? Do I need to work on Saturday to clean up any loose ends, do any projects like customer mailings or fill orders or anything that I didn't make time for Monday through Friday? And then that also sets me up for the following week. So when I close on Friday, sometimes it's 11 a.m., sometimes it's 3, 4, or 6 p.m., but I am ready when I sit down at my desk on Monday, knowing what that following week will look like.
I love that. I love that it's, for you, it's planned out. There is some flexibility built into it, but it's planned out so that hey, there's going to be times when I turn my open sign on, right? You have to be present for your business. Can I ask you a follow-up question? When did you know that you started needing systems for your business? Has this been something like, is this like your personality? Have you always been like this? Or were you like, into Scentsy for a couple of years and you're like, okay, I got to have a little more structure?
When I started my Scentsy business, I had little ones. So I had a preschooler and an elementary school age child. Now the one is going to high school and the other's in college. So I've worked my business with my kids being at different ages and different stages of their lives where they've needed me more or less. So I've always had to work my business around what they needed me for. Plus, I have a unique situation. I'm a single mom. So even though I'm married, they're not his children. And there were several years where I was doing it all by myself, whether I was married with a husband that traveled or divorced with 2 kids that needed me 100% of the time. So I've always needed to keep it straight, whether it's get up at 5 in the morning before the kids or stay up till 2 a.m. because the kids are going to need me while they're awake. Or now I have the flexibility, they don't need me and they're still upstairs sleeping till about 3 o'clock. So I can work my whole day before they even show their faces. So I've always needed a schedule. It just has always looked different.
I love that, because so what I'm hearing you say is you've had some major life changes that have happened in the course of your business, but you never dropped your business. You just adapted and made that work into your schedule. I love that. Thank you, Shelly. I'm going to bring in Kelly Cano. I actually don't see where you're at, Kelly. Where'd you go? Okay, perfect. Right next to Shelly. So tell me what your work week looks like. Let's start with that.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you 2 different things, because this summer looks very different than all previous summers that we've had. Typically, I'm gone for 2 to 3 months every summer. I spend the summer at my mom's, and so my work week looks very, very different. There is Mondays always, whether I'm in town or out of town, I always work Mondays as my business day, kind of very similar to Shelly. Because we have a lot of director calls, and I try to schedule all my things heavy on Monday. And then from there, I allow the rest of the week to go and be with my kids. Now, that does not mean I'm not working my business. I'm branding myself constantly. I'm carrying catalogs with me everywhere I go. My mobile office is my absolute best friend. I have light bulbs and scent circles and brochures and joint brochures and everything you could think of in my mobile office, because honestly, my business is busy in the summer because I'm always out and I'm sharing Scentsy everywhere I go. While I'm sitting at the pool with the kids, I'm busy messaging some of my customers. One day I'm messaging team members. So I really have to try to find, there's really no balance, but what there is some days are heavy Scentsy and some days are heavy family. And that's one thing I feel like I had to accept early on, especially very similar to Shelly. My kids were little when I started the business. And so I used to beat myself up because I wasn't spending enough time with my kids, or I wasn't spending enough time in my business. And so I've just found that Orville had talked one year about life being a symphony, or our business being a symphony. And that to me is so true, because there's sometimes when I try to balance the family and the business and being a wife and being a daughter and all the things, and I go crazy. So I had to accept that, I think, within myself, is knowing that it's okay to take time for your family, but that absolutely does not mean to stop working your business. So you have to be creative. And I'm a very early bird. I do not stay up late, but man, I can get up early and I can knock out every single activity that I had planned for the day in my power hour. And so what I do is I sit down and I structure at least the day before, because things change for me, especially in the summer. I'll write down everything that is a must do that next day. And I guarantee I get that done in that hour. And then I have my kids help me, and they've helped me since the time they were little all the way. Now they're 12 and 14. They've helped in different various ways. So right now they make all my samples. They do all my mailings. They do, my daughter helps me plan out trainings and posts and stuff like that for my team page. So they're very, very helpful. But when they were little, I would just keep them busy by stamping catalogs or labeling products, things like that, just to keep them happy while I'm happy doing my work. And then I would reward them. So if we get this done, then we get to go to the pool. So it was always a give and a take type of a thing. And the last thing that I want to share is scheduling posts. That is a lifesaver. So I schedule all the posts. I schedule team page. I schedule my VIP page. I'm getting better. I haven't been great about my business page, but I'm starting to really get on that. So scheduling, I would ideally like to do a month in advance, but my brain doesn't work that way yet. So I'm at least doing a couple of days, if not a whole week in advance. And then that way it allows me to just interact on those posts where I don't have to stay on social media all day long and be consumed by that. So that's kind of what helps me in the summer.
That is fantastic. And I have to say amen to having your kids help you, because I know when I started Scentsy, my son, who just graduated from high school, was 2 years old. And, you know, it was something that, you know, I had to figure out early on how to involve my kids, because there was no way I had, you know, like a 6 and a 4 and a 2-year-old and not involve them somehow, because mommy, you know, where's mommy? What is mommy doing? So involving your kids, I think, is a great idea during these summer months. And I love your, you know, let's do some fun stickering or something, and then we can go do something you want to do, right? So learning how to share, share the time.
It's not just your kids, but it's our whole family business. So my husband does work outside of the home, but he helps a lot. So I feel like it helps when everybody's involved, because then you're focused on getting the things that you need to get done so that you can have that quality family time and put your phone away and put the computer away. So you don't have, because otherwise you can easily get consumed and then your family gets angry. So don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. We're going to bring on Shelly Eldridge, if you want to unmute, and kind of share with us how you are managing these summer months and going into this next 4 weeks.
So, unlike my other 2 amazing people that have spoken, I don't have necessarily a schedule. We work off very organized chaos in my household. When I first started Scentsy almost 14 years ago, I had been married 9 months. And then a few years later, we added 1 kid, and now we have a total of 4. And I had them all very close together. So a lot of times during all of those baby times, my youngest is 6, but there wasn't a whole lot of, let's be organized on this day. It was, did they sleep the night before? You know, did I sleep? Was I up late trying to finish work, or did they wake up early? You know how kids just never go with your plan. So I never really had a plan. It was just do the things when I can. And I think it's kind of gone over into now they're old enough, they're all in school, or at least were. And I have found some structure, but I still kind of work off the same thing. Some things pop up. I'm very involved in our community and our PTA. And so I have to go volunteer on Monday. So I can't just have everything planned on a Tuesday or Wednesday or any day of the week. So the way I do it is I plan out my week. I have a calendar for the week, and I write down all the things that I have going on that week. So between this time and this time, I'm going to be busy. This time I have a meeting. This time I'm going to be up at the school all day. So where are the times that I'm at home, that I have the opportunity to do something? And I used to be a really bad procrastinator. In my head, I was like, oh, I don't have to do that till Friday. It doesn't have to be done till Friday, and I don't have anything going on. And then Thursday night, either something would inevitably pop up, or I forgot that I'd planned something. And so that's what turned into this, I need to plan out my week. And that has really helped. So I have a list of things that I have to get done in the month, like, you know, your team newsletter or posting or shout outs. But I find that I feel good and successful as long as I check those things off before the end of the month. And that kind of works with our organized, chaotic life.
That's awesome. I kind of feel like the same, like there was a long time when I had young ones where it was just like, when can I fit Scentsy in? I have to, you know, you have to adjust for your kids and for things that happen in your life, for illnesses, unexpected things that come up. Sometimes you just have to do, okay, you know, these things are priorities. So where are the open spots that I can put Scentsy in? So I love that. That's because we all have, hopefully, you all that are on our call, hopefully you're kind of seeing yourself in these different superstar directors, and you're able to connect and say, oh, that's something that would help me, that I could put into my business. So thank you, Shelley. I want to talk with Sarah, if you would unmute Sarah, and share with us kind of how you're managing the next 4 weeks. How does that look for you?
Okay, I am more like Shelley Eldridge, who kind of unorganized chaos is how I work and live. Again, just because of how life is. You know, I've had to change my business over and over on different ways, different things that have been thrown at my, you know, whether young kids, I was on bed rest for 6 months, then hospitalized, and now I have health issues. So I've had to change my business, and it continually changes. And my schedule continually changes too, depending on how I feel that day. There are literally some days I don't want to get out of bed. And so I do more of my online those days. So I have, okay, I just pulled it up. I have like certain things that I like to do first week, second week, third week, fourth week, and then other things that I make sure I do throughout the week. Because, you know, first week of the month, we really want to push the sales. So all of our team, and including ourselves, get at least our 500, whatnot. So I've kind of scheduled it by week. That way I'm a little more flexible with what's going on with my life. Another thing I talked about last week was the 5x5. I really think that is a great way, and I really train a lot of my team on that, because it's simple system. And I love the power hour too. I've kind of gone back and forth that Kelly talked about, but the 5x5 is really just a simple, easy way to get your 5 things done in the day. And a lot of times, all of these things can be done with whatever you're doing in your life. Maybe you're sitting at the park with your kids. You can do a few of those things right then and there. A lot of these you can incorporate into what your life is. And that's my biggest thing with Scentsy, is work your business into your life. Don't change your life for Scentsy. Work it into you. If you're going to basketball games, or obviously we don't have as much going on, but if you're going to kids' games, you know, label your catalogs while you're there, and people will want catalogs. You can incorporate it into what your life is, and it works. And just know things may change in your life, whether kids, health issues, whatnot. Roll with it. Just have a set system of what you want. I, again, do it by the week, because I just don't know how each day is going to bring. So
yeah, that totally works. So tell me, how do you plan for a vacation? What does that do to your weekly schedule when you have to plan like a week or 2 weeks when you're taking a family vacation?
So again, if it's posting, I will do, I think it was Kelly, or was it Shelley? One of them said, you know, pre-post on your post, but you can also incorporate other team members. I've asked other directors to step in and help out, or, you know, even other leaders to step in to up your team pages and whatnot. And you can post with your team. Also, take stuff with you. Take catalogs with you if you're going out and about. Share that. I mean, again, bringing your business into whatever you're doing. Whether you're going on a vacation, bring them with you. I mean, I'm not saying ignore your family, or, you know, don't enjoy, but you can incorporate. Your business is a fun part of your life. Bring it with you on vacation. Enjoy it. Have your catalogs, have your host lead packets with you. You never know where you're going to be when you start talking Scentsy, and oh crap, I left those at home. I don't have them on me. But if you're wearing your Scentsy shirt, if you're really, you know, branding yourself, you're going to be working even when you're out playing with your kids.
Yeah, fantastic. Shelley Sharp, I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you do since it is summertime and lots of people are planning vacations? We have 4th of July coming up. How do you plan that?
Well, one of the things for on the go, I'm not planning for a vacation this summer, but when I'm planning to leave the house or be on the sidelines or be somewhere, I like to make sure that I'm equipped with a charged phone and a phone filled with all my customers and my team members in it. And also the app Amy. But all those work for me really well. So if my team, my customers, and Amy are in my phone, then I have all the tools I need when I'm gone. If it's send 15 follow-up texts, we have Spider-Man launching, I'm going to go to any contacts that I have flagged for Spider-Man. I like to think about 15-minute or less tasks, and I call those my to-go tasks. So if I know that I'm going to the orthodontist and I'm going to be sitting in the parking lot for 30 minutes waiting for Sam to have his braces tightened, I take those to-go tasks with me. And for 30 minutes, I can knock out a couple things just using my phone. But then also, another thing I do that just came to mind is when I'm making my weekly schedule, I chunk a lot of my tasks, whether it's calls, texts, emails, or I have like a get social, whether it's, you know, Facebook scrolling or scheduling those posts, things like that. All of that can be done on the sidelines, riding in a plane or in the car or sitting, you know, waking up a little early before the family on vacation. So if you have all your calls, then you get on the phone, you can just knock out call after call after call. If you're sending an email, you can send all 5 emails at once. I let them kind of stack up. Does that make sense? So I know I need to email Ken about the window leaking. Well, guess what? I'm not going to just get on email and send that one email. That's, you know, that's not as productive if I send 5 emails all at once at the end of my day. So tasking things into 15 minutes or less, having everything on my phone with me, and really being conscientious of this is 15 minutes for text, this is 15 minutes for emails, this is 15 minutes for customers, those power hour items that Kelly brought up. That helps on vacation because you do have 15 minutes here and there throughout the week when you're on vacation.
Ah, those are wonderful ideas. Absolutely fantastic. So I want to go to Karen. Speaking of working your business on the go, she is a pro at doing this because she never knows where she's going to be at. So Karen, I'm going to bring you in for our last few minutes of this panel. So share with us how you work your business.
So I used to very much be a very structured, scheduled person as far as when and how I worked my business. And I would never say that I accomplished it all Monday through Friday, but I had a routine for sure. The last few years, we've spent most of our time traveling. My son has some unique medical needs and none of his medical care is local. So even in 2017, I think we spent 180 nights in hotels and hospitals that were states away from where we lived. So I never know where I'm going to be. Often when he needs brain surgery, it's on 24 hours notice or less. And so I take my business on the go. I found that a couple things. Number one, you don't need nearly as much as you think you do to work your business. You can work it from your phone, from a binder, from just the basics. Number two, you can work from anywhere: hospitals, hotel rooms, parking lots, baseball practice, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. But, you know, I accomplish more now. My sales are higher. I'm more organized than I was before. And I've realized to focus on the important things. So much of what I was doing was fluff and really didn't matter. And when I focus just on those revenue generating activities and do them on the go, I have a lot more success. I've also realized that I don't have to do it all myself. And our business is a family business. And so we do work it all together and everyone has a task. I had small children too when I joined, and they've kind of grown up with Sensi. But in addition to that, when I don't have to do it all myself, I don't just mean my family, I mean my team helps too. So they know that I don't always know. So each month we have a Sparkle Squad, and it's 10 people. You could call it anything you want, but it's 10 people who for the month take on the role of welcoming people and congratulating and cheering people on. And so I know how that feels to not get all of that kind of thing. And so I want to make sure that people on the team page feel that for more than just me or someone else. I don't have to take that responsibility. And then I don't ever hesitate to ask someone to be a leader of the day too, and jump in when I can't. And you empower your downline team members when you ask them to do those kind of things, for sure. So I would just say that systems are super important, and I love systems. They make my life a lot easier, but don't overcomplicate your business. Don't think you need all the things to do it successfully, and you absolutely can do it on the go.
Love that. Love that. Well, hopefully you guys have gotten some little gold nuggets to take away from this call. Aspen, I know you were looking over our chat. Is there anything that we need to address?
Surprisingly, there's nothing at all. You guys must have covered everything.
Okay.
Eileen,
Well,
I have one more thing I was gonna kind of touch on, and I didn't get a chance to, or forgot to bring it up. I want to kind of wrap this up with respecting time, whether it's your time, your family's time, and also your team and customers' time, right? I think a lot of us as Scentsy consultants, we are on our phones a lot, or whether, no matter what we're doing, it's kind of work related. Do you guys find that same thing? Like, my mind doesn't shut off. I'm always thinking, what's the next thing I can do for my business? And that's the beautiful thing about our Scentsy business. If we're passionate about it, we never run out of ideas, and we're always working, we're always thinking, right? Well, one of the things that I've had to do over the years is really create those boundaries for when I'm with my family, when I'm with my husband, when I'm with my kids. I really want to be able to just put my phone in the other room and not be interrupted. So when I recruit a new team member, or I'm coaching with a new leader, I always tell them, you know, text me anytime when you think of the answer. I'm going to get back to you within 1 to 2 hours. It won't be life or death if I don't answer you right away. I said, typically, if I'm not with my family and I'm working my business, I will respond to you right away. Otherwise, give me a couple hours or ask the team page. So create some expectations and some boundaries for yourself, not just for the summer, but going forward. Because if you respect your time, your customers, your team, everybody else is going to respect your time. And when your kids are wanting, mommy, let's go to the pool, or you told me we're going to play, if you respect the time that you're with them doing those activities, and you tell them, you know what, I have 1 hour that I'm blocking off for Scentsy, they're going to respect the 1 hour you're spending for your time, because then when you're with them for the 1 hour, you're respecting that time. But I just wanted to bring that up. So whatever that looks like for you, be cognizant, because you probably don't even realize it. You're sitting on the couch and you're scrolling Facebook, or you're making this, or you're answering a customer. All of a sudden 20 minutes have passed and you're like, oh, I just missed 20 minutes with my kids because I got down this, this letterboard, Pinterest, Facebook. It's work related, but I'm distracted and I'm not with my family. So kind of take a look of those times and see if you can do a little bit better job.
That's absolutely, I'm so glad you interrupted, and I'm glad that you shared that, because that's a great way to wrap this up. I 100% agree with you. So we are at the bottom of the hour. So we hope that this has been beneficial, and that you guys have had some powerful moments to think about how you can involve your kids, respect the time, all the things. So thank you so much, you guys. Have a great day.